right, welcome back everyone for another episode of the Wednesday Watch List. This is my weekly look ahead to all the new comics coming out this Wednesday, May 28th, 2025. I'm going to give you a rundown on all the books on my pull list, some variants for you to keep an eye out for, other fun stuff that I think you just should be aware of before you go to your shop to pick up your new books this Comic Book Wednesday. Hopefully you're enjoying this series as well as everything else here on the channel. Please let me know what you think in the comments down below. Make sure that you like, you subscribe, you hit the alert button so you don't miss anything. Keep telling your friends so we can keep growing the channel. And if you want to see this week's books, don't worry, I got you covered. Just hang on for a few seconds after this short break and I will be right back. All right, we're going to start off this week, as we do every week, with my personal pull list. And I got to tell you, it's a big list this week. There's a lot of books coming out that I got to get. It's going to be a long one because there's a lot of stuff coming out this week. It's the end of the month. A lot of companies playing catch up, things getting released. Just bear with me. Let's run through it. And like I said, I got a lot. This is going to be a hard week on my wallet personally. But with that said, let's start off with the first book I want to get into, and that is Absolute Wonder Woman. It's still one of my favorite Absolute books. New story starts here. Looking forward to see where we're going from here. So Absolute Wonder Woman, this is the cover A. We got a cover B option here as well, which ain't bad. Can't remember which one I actually ordered. C is pretty good. That's a Sanford Green. And then we do have a 1 in 25 option, as well as a 1 in 50, which is just a less trade dress version of that B cover, as DC likes to do. So I can't remember exactly which cover I got. I might have gotten the B. I might have gotten the A. Ultimately, it doesn't matter. I want to read this thing, so that's all that matters. It's what's between the cover that I'm interested in most for this title. Now, with that said, we've also got the next installment of Hush 2. Still think it's kind of a dumb name for it. Hush 2, and then they got rid of the U and put a 2 there. You can't even say that word. It's not an actual word. H2SH is not a word. Just saying. And it's not cool to write it that way. That said, didn't ask for this follow-up series, but we got it anyway, and they are pushing it hard. And I'm not saying I'm not on board for it. I'm just saying I didn't ask for it. I don't know if we needed it. But we got it anyway, and here is the next part in the storyline. Issue 160, cover A. We got a cover B option here, which is pretty cool. I kind of like it, actually, the cover B. I just wish there was a little bit something in the background. The stark white is a bit much. I mean, it opens itself up for signatures and remarks, but if there was a skyline, moon, night, whatever time of day it was, I might have liked that with a background. I also like the connecting cover here. We got the next part of a Delato connecting cover. In case you were curious to go with the other two parts, here we go. I'll show you what it looks like. So we got that, as well as last couple of issues as well. So we'll build it out, and I'll show you the whole thing once it's all done. So you got that if you're collecting that. We've also got this option right here by David Nakayama, which it's okay. I just don't love the Hush down below. I don't know. It's just kind of generic looking. Batman's pretty solid. I like the idea behind this design. I just don't really care for the Hush face. But, I mean, he is just a bandaged up dude, so there isn't much you can do with it. It's just, I don't know. It just seems kind of weird to me. With that said, we've also got a foil edition of that cover A, so we'll strip away some of the trade dress, make it yellow for some reason, and make this thing foil. 1 in 25 on this is actually pretty cool. I like this Ben Oliver a lot. Gives me like a movie poster kind of vibe with the layout of, big head, mid-level shot, tiny Catwoman in the middle. I like the design. I like the layout. It's one of my favorite variants this week. The 1 in 50 is not bad either. It gives me a kind of a throwback to the Red Hood book. Remember that? The Jason Todd thing way back when in the old school Batman books. And then we do have a 1 in 100, which is just a virgin version of that cover A. Again, I don't know if it's necessary, but we're getting it, and that's the 1 in 100 if you want it. It is a Jim Lee cover, so I mean that's always nice, but it's just, I mean, it is what it is. If you want to pay the extra bucks, go for it. It's not doing anything. You can find it under ratio if you want to go look for it, as with most of the books here, but that's up to you if you want to spend those extra dollars on the incentives. Now, with that said, I'm telling you, it's a big week, mostly because I like to read a lot of this stuff, and a lot of books that I'm reading are coming out this week, including me getting back into Green Arrow. Thanks, Barlord, for making me read this. Now I got this on my pull list, and it's another book I got to add to the pile. But I am enjoying it. Finished off that Freshwater Killer storyline. Going to start a new one here. Aftermath thing. Kind of like the cover A. Oh, the cover B is not bad. I'll just make a choice once I get to the shop, Lyrics Lee or that white. I might just go with the cover A and save myself $1 because I think it's $3.99 for that one. Yeah, and then $4.99 to get the B cover. So probably just save $1 and go with the A. That's just a personal choice. And again, it's a big week, so I'll save every dollar that I possibly can because we're still not done. That's just the DC stuff on the pull list. And we didn't get into the other stuff with the riding it outs and the number one. A lot more to come. But moving from DC over to Image, I'm still enjoying Feral. So our friend Tony Fleece was on the show last week on TAC. We've got the next installment coming this week of Feral, issue 13. Pet Supply Store looks like it could be a fun angle for this. We'll see how this little story arc goes. I like the cover A here, but as you all know, I do get the movie poster homages on the B covers. That's what I get for this series every time out. So I'm getting that Jason Lives or Jason 9. I can't remember what Friday the 13th book it is, but there is a Friday the 13th cover right there. That's pretty cool. There is also a 1 in 10, which is a version of that cover A. So we'll get rid of the trade dress. And there's your 1 in 10 if you want to go that route. Like I said, I'm getting the B. That's what I got on my pre-order list. So with that, we've also got another one of my favorite reads coming out. Hyde Street, issue 6. Any one of these covers is pretty good. You can go with. I just enjoy this title. It's a good read. If you haven't picked this up yet, I highly suggest it. I highly recommend it. This is the cover A. We got a cover B here, which is, again, pretty cool. It's almost like a negative space Mr. X-Ray. I kind of dig it. But my favorite might just be this one. It's just something about looking down the basement stairs and just seeing that creepy little Boy Scout and then just a bloodied body. It's just messed up, and I kind of dig it. So there's an option there as well. Any one of them, I think, are pretty good. You pick whichever one you prefer, but any cover there would work for Hyde Street this week. G.I. Joe, we've got a new story arc, I believe, starting here. Or no, this is just going to be a standalone. So standalone between story arcs. So a standalone Night Force covert op, the first appearance of the iconic Beachhead. Well, first appearance here in the new Energon universe. We can go back. Maybe I'll do that for Dollar Bin Digging next week and give you that first appearance of Beachhead in the OG run. But always like Beachhead. We got Flint, Lady J in here as well. Couple of covers. Cover A here. Cover B is not bad. I think we got Zartan coming at him with a big machete in the back. Then we got a blank in case you want a blank. Get your sketches. I want to talk about these blanks at some point because it doesn't seem like it's necessary for every issue to have a blank as well. It's like, okay, like why 7? Why issue 7 needs a blank for people to go sketches on? Like we've had how many G.I. Joe blank covers so far? How many do we need? Just saying. We do got a Beachhead mask cover here as well because they like to do these pop-out mask covers for some reason, for fun, I guess. So we got that option as well as a new 1 in 10 connecting cover set starting here. So there we go. Beachhead, Flint, Lady J, as I mentioned. We've got Beachhead also featured here on the 1 in 25, which is like that card back kind of vibe with the little splash there, explosion. I really like the 1 in 50 here. This is an Homare. I don't know how to say the name properly, but it's got kind of a cool anime Metal Gear Solid kind of vibe to me, which is why I like it. But I still don't think I'm going to be paying up for 1 in 50. If it were an open order cover, I'd get it, but I usually get the A's and B's on G.I. Joe. Why I'm still getting both covers, I don't know. But I pre-order them. I usually get them for half price, so it's like I'm getting 2 for 1 anyway. So that's what I do. It's that OCD collector in me wants both for my Energon universe stuff. Don't know why I keep doing it, but I'm still doing it. That said, 1 in 100 option here as well. Ain't too bad with a Lady J. 1 in 100. And this just kind of gets buried in a lot of really good covers this week. And I tried not to lean too much on the girl pose, the cheesecake type of covers, but you'll see once we get through more of this stuff rolling on through the list. But there's a lot of good options this week as far as covers goes. With that, sticking with the Energon universe, but moving over to Void Rivals, we've got issue 19 here with another standalone story. So kind of curious. Looking forward to this as well. Standalone issue 19. Multiple covers. We've got cover A. We got a cover B with the, I can't remember that dude from the movie. Little Cyclone. Is it Cyclonus? No, the motorcycle guy. He was on the Junk Planet. Anyway, he's on the B cover. For whatever reason, Void Rivals also has another blank sketch cover. Again, I don't know why we need so many of these, but there's that option if you really want it. 1 in 10, yes, new 1 in 10, starting a new connecting cover set here. We also got a 1 in 25 option if you want to go that route. And then we do have a 1 in 50, as well as a 1 in 100. So if you want to go that route, we got a 1 in 100 for you too. So there you go. A lot of options here for you. Rekgar. I guess his name is Rekgar. I just didn't remember that. I just remember he was the motorcycle guy on the Junk Planet before, when Unicron was coming in the movie. Anyway, one of my favorite reads right now coming out this week as well. So look at all that. I've already got half a dozen books I got to read. And then we're getting to other stuff I'm looking forward to, like We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. Just fun stuff. It's only issue 3 so far, but I look forward to this title every month so far because I'm enjoying the read. I like it. That said, couple of covers here. This is the cover A. We got a cover B, which kind of has a fun little callback, and there is a polybagged not suitable for work edition. If you want to get that one, you can go that route. And yeah, there's no bottoms. Cool. If you want it, there you go. It's probably not what you expected. When you see those polybagged editions, you're probably expecting it to be some sexy girl cover and not, one sock up, one sock down, and then probably a pair of fellas just hanging there in mid-screen. That's what I'm guessing. I haven't seen the cover, so I don't know for certain. I'm just guessing. That said, the 1 in 25 here is pretty cool. Goes back to that old school action poster kind of vibe. I dig it. And then those are your choices for this week. We're taking everyone down with us. I do like the 1 in 25s. I don't know if I'm going to keep going and picking them up. This was, I think, issue 2's 1 in 25 next to me. I just dig it because I like this series. And I like that retro kind of vibe. The other title that runs concurrently, it seems, they come out every week, they come out the same week of every month together, and they started that way, is another title that's been a surprise read for me, and that's You'll Do Bad Things. I didn't know what to expect out of this series, but I like it so far. Issue 3 coming out here. We got a cover A. We got a B cover option as well if you want to go that route. And then there's a really cool 1 in 10 that I really like. It just gives me like a pulp magazine cover kind of vibe. I dig it. I like it. It's a 1 in 10. I'm probably going to look to see if I can go find one for a decent price. Personally, it's just because I like it. That said, still more. We didn't even get to Marvel yet. That's just the DC and the Image stuff. Whew. Okay, here we go. Still on my pull list, mind you, and we're already 12 minutes in. Daredevil, Cold Day in Hell, finally getting issue 2 out of this. Granted, it's only a 3-issue miniseries, but it seems like forever ago that we got issue 1 because it was released the first week of April, and here we are at the end of May, so it's basically been 2 months since the last issue. But still looking forward to this. McNiven cover here is solid, but so are the rest of the options as well. As we got an Esad Ribic, which is pretty cool. Looks like we got a stitched up Daredevil costume to work with. We got a Gabriel Delato, which is pretty sweet. I like that one as well. And then we do have, well, probably not my favorite of the bunch, a TV design cover from the last issue, the last series of Born Again. Yeah, that middle episode, that bottle episode, one with the bank heist. That's what it looks like this design cover is from. And it's, any of the other 3, I'd suggest this one, maybe not so much. Unless you collect these things, then have at it. With that said, there is a hidden gem, 1 in 50, classic Frank Miller. And hey, it's classic Frank Miller, so this one's not bad. It doesn't look like he's taking a dump on the cover. It looks pretty solid. That said, it's not the only incentive. We do have a 1 in 100, which is a version of that Delato, as you might have guessed. So, if you want to pay the extras, those are your options for the incentives. Sticking with Marvel, we still have the next issue of Magic coming out. Say what you will, I've had this book in the Cheesecake section forever because of all the J. Scott Campbell covers and obviously a lot of cheesecakey type covers when we're dealing with Magic. But I actually do like reading this book. I actually enjoying the story here. So here, Fifth Seal is open. We'll see where this is going. Issue 5. Campbell cover's pretty solid. This Inhyuk Lee Lyrics Lee ain't bad because it's just a creepy cover. I almost selected this as one of my favorites of the week because it's not what you would have expected. I mean, yes, you see the cute blonde version of Magic on the one side. This is the demonesque version, which is not sexy. It's creepy as hell. I just something with the look of the eyes, the kind of scarred up, you know how I got these scars kind of story. I like it though. I like it. There is a C cover option here that's closer to the A than that B, but hey, you choose which Magic you like, and up to you. There is a 1 in 10 design cover here by Peach Momoko. So this fire demon with the extra legs just coming out of her butt. Looks like it's Spider Lady. I don't know. It's a design cover. It's what they're for. And then we'll take that creepy ass cover that I had for you, and that's the 1 in 100 version, virgin version, which I think is it's pretty cool. I'm not going to go pay up for a 1 in 100 on this book, but I'm kind of surprised they went that route with it, and it isn't just the easy way. And they could have went with the Campbell. Now we're still not done here. We're still at Marvel, and we've got Ultimate Spider-Man number 17. Basically caught up on this title, which is why it's here in the pull list and not in writing it out, because I did catch up with all of that, trying to clear up the whole Richard Parker stuff with him dressing as Spider-Man first time and all that, because it's like everybody made a big deal with that cover, but I'm like, he's Spider-Man for issues before this. That said, he's still Spider-Man here in the black suit as we're facing off against the Sinister Six, and we've got 2 Spider-Men. Yeah, here we go. So, cover A, Goblin helmet. Cover B, we got a little bit of Black Cat and Richard Parker. Looks a little too old in this cover to me. Like, he doesn't look like a little kid. He looks just like a grown man, but hey, that is what it is. That said, while both of these covers are okay, my favorite is the Talavera here, who is just killing it lately. It's just, again, I'm seeing more and more Dan Panosian in the art here, like similar styles and vibes. Like when I'm just drawn into the eyes of MJ here. I just like this cover. I know it's just MJ walking down the street drinking like an iced coffee or something, but I like it. It's just well done. It's not overly done or overly sexualized or anything. It's just a well done cover. So with that said, there is a 1 in 25 option, which is a Happy Mother's Day. Yeah, it's kind of fun. Bright colors, pink. You get kind of a Norman Rockwell kind of vibe there with the kids kind of grinning and looking up. And we do have a 1 in 100, which is, yes, a virgin version of that Talavera cover, which is, again, pretty nice. Probably not paying up for that. I'll be fine with the trade dress version because it's limited trade dress after all. So I'm fine going that route personally. Now, that's it for my pull list so far this week. That was a lot to go through. We're 17 minutes in already, it feels like, and I didn't even get to the other segments. But before we do, quick second. Anybody out there who hasn't tried Whatnot before, please use my link down below. Get yourselves a free 15 bucks on your first purchase. You sign up, you get 15 bucks to buy whatever you want with whomever you want. No strings attached. You try out the app, get 15 bucks to spend on whatever you want. I'll be back on there one of these days to do another sale. It's just I got to find some time to do so and organize. And it's just not number one priority, as I enjoy doing these videos more than I do trying to sell and hawk comics. It's just that stuff's just not as fun to me. That said, let's get back to a segment we haven't done here in a little while, and that is your recommendations, the viewer recommendations coming to me when I keep asking you for things that you guys are reading that you think I should check out. And I've got one for you this week. Viewer recommendations. Granted, this recommendation came in a couple of weeks ago, but I'm getting to it now because the book is coming out this week. And this is coming from D. Craven telling me how much he's enjoying Kill Train from Mad Cave. So I figured, you know what? Let's give this a shot, because while it's the final issue of this mini-series coming out this week with issue 5, I like this cover. It's kind of drawing me in, and it almost had me kind of curious in and of itself just to kind of give this a read. So with the recommendation and this cool cover, I'm going to go give this a try, even though I haven't read the series yet, and this is wrapping up the mini-series. So I'll probably just, if I got time, I'll sit down and just try to just blast through 1 through 5 in like one or two sittings, maybe. That said, Kill Train, viewer recommendation. So if you guys also want to give it a try, we'll see how it is next week when we come back to it, because for now, we're going to move on to my recommendations to you, the viewers, of things I think you guys should be reading, things that I'm enjoying. I thought about putting Hyde Street in here for the recommendation of this week, but I think I've talked about that book enough on like Tack and all that I felt like I've already made my feelings on that one known. Whereas this title, I was on the fence about it with the last issue, going into it, because I didn't know where we were going to go from issue 1 to issue 2. So then issue 2, I was on the fence. Now that here we're at issue 3, I got more of a sense of what Assorted Crisis Events is, and it is kind of that fun anthology kind of series that I was hoping it would be, and not just one continuous story where, again, the main character in issue 1 was kind of interesting, but I didn't know where we would go with that. So finding out in issue 2 that, oh, wait, no, we're going to deal with a whole new Assorted Crisis event, kind of a timey-wimey Tales from the Dark Side kind of thing, or it's just kind of a fun anthology. So with that, I'm in. Cool sci-fi sort of anthology here, with some time travel mishaps and mix-ups, etc. We've got a duplicate Earth kind of event apparently coming in this third issue, so I'm looking forward to it. Maybe a little swap, Rick and Morty style. I don't know. But I'm in to give it a try, and I'm into recommending it to you guys because, like I said, it's kind of a fun read if you're into that anthology sort of storyline, and we're hitting a bit of time travel and sci-fi type stuff. Give it a look, see if you haven't already. That's it. Cover A. Cover B option right there. We've got our through line, crazy old man, the world is nigh, kind of holding up the end of the world type sign. See where that's kind of going, as that's, again, like a through line that's been running through the issues. And then we've got a 1 in 25 issue here as well, if you want to pay for a premium. There you go. With that, we're now going to move on to Taste Test, where this is my segment where I'm challenging myself to try other things. Now, last week, I think I had 1 or 2 books as options. Let me see. What did I try to challenge myself to read last week? Oh, I kept saying Road Wolf. I apologize, because when you look at that cover, it looks like it says Road Wolf. That looks like an A and a D, but it's Robo Wolf. Yes, Robo Wolf. Not that it makes much of a difference, except that wolf does have a cybernetic arm in here, so it is a Robo Wolf. Crazy, wild 90s sort of, actually, I can't even say 90s. It's like 80s vibe. I don't know. It's definitely retro throwback. It is fun. It's silly. It's crazy. And if you're into that, give this thing a read because it was fun. So with that, I give this a thumbs up. It was what it was. It was what I expected it to be. And it was just a fun little ride. So I liked it. The other book I gave myself a challenge to read was our buddy Tony Fleece's The Thing, because I'm not a big fan of the Fantastic Four on a reading level. It's just, I just got bored. I just got bored of the family aspects of the storyline and sci-fi. I know it seems weird to say that, but it just wasn't my favorite book to read. That said, The Thing on his own is a whole different animal, and this title shows that why you can read a solo Thing series and not get bored by the, hey, it's all about the family, like Vin Diesel likes to say. Just kind of a fun Yancey Street sort of street level-ish kind of storyline here. Looking forward to reading this miniseries or this series as it goes forward. But I enjoyed issue 1, and like I said, looking forward to getting more of this. So not try to be biased, just saying I actually did enjoy this series. Because you guys know if I didn't like it, I'd tell you I didn't like it. But I did actually enjoy The Thing last week. For this week, I'm going back to try a book I haven't read in a while because, well, it is the summer of Superman. We've got trailers coming out. We've got new comics coming out. I did read Superman Unlimited, which, it was all right. I mean, seemed to drag a little bit, a little too much flashback in there. But maybe the regular title of Superman may be more my speed. Let's kind of dip in and see where we're at. I kind of gave a glance through read of the last issue 25, so I know where I'm picking up from in here because I did cover it, I think, for Dollar Bin not that long ago. So we'll see how this one goes. So I'm going to go dip a toe back into the regular Superman title this week to give it a try. Cover A, not bad. Got the red kryptonite kind of going on. Not bad. Cover B, as we've got it by Derek Chu. Gilliam March, I believe, is our artist here on issue 3. Issue 3 on our third cover, the C cover. Solid option, classic Art Deco style, classic Clark getting ready to be Superman here on the D cover, the fourth option. And then we do have a 1 in 25 here as well if you want to go the incentive route. You could generally find these. I think Midtown might have this running like $9. So 1 in 25, you can find a lot of these DC 1 in 25s for well below ratio if you're interested. And they're not, something that somebody's like hot and chasing after. Because sometimes you can have to pay a premium on some of these incentives. But most of them are pretty affordable. That said, before we move on, anyone who needs supplies, your bags, your boards, long boxes, short boxes, CGC boxes, top loaders, pages for cards, basically anything to keep your comics or collectibles safe, there's probably a product at BCW, and you can save yourself 10% off your entire order by using my code RENA10. So use that code RENA10 to save yourself 10% off your order for all that stuff that you got to buy anyway. Keep your stuff safe. You got to buy bags and boards, so you might as well save some money while you do it. You help out the channel and get that stuff that you need anyway. Now, speaking of stuff that I'm going to get anyway, we're now going to move into Writing It Out, which is basically an extension of my pull list because these are books I'm still getting, but for a different reason. I might be behind on my reading, or these might just be books that, regardless of where I am in my reading of it, I'm just getting them anyway in the OCD collector that I am. So with that said, let's see what I got for you in the writing it out segment. And here we do have a few things. I'm going to just see out Absolute Martian Manhunter. While I didn't love issue 1 as much as a lot of folks did, a lot of people loved it. It was all right. It was interesting, and it had me interested enough to keep going. Still not loving it as much as a lot of people are, but I am into it enough to kind of want to see where this storyline goes. So I'm just going to ride this one out because I think it's a 6-issue miniseries. At this point, just going to see it through. So it's not a long-term commitment as it is. It's just, all right, I'm halfway through. Might as well just buy the rest of them. Like I said, I'm interested enough. It's been good enough for me to get that. Cover A option here. Interesting cover B pick here. And then we do have a Dan Panosian, one of my favorites these days. Granted, kind of looks like John Constantine, but a little bit of a red dye in his hair. But there is a Dan Panosian option here, and that might be the one that I get. And there is a 1 in 25 as well, if you want to go that route. Or even the 1 in 50, which is just weird enough that I kind of like it. I just kind of like this image of like the top of the skull popping off and then just the Manhunter just kind of hanging on to the brain. It's a fun, creepy, weird little image. And I don't know. I just kind of like it. So there that is, the 1 in 50. Also kind of stuck riding out Green Lantern right now. Been enjoying Green Lantern Corps up till the last issue, which I didn't love the last issue of Green Lantern Corps, but I did love the first arc. Second arc, well, we'll see how it goes. I'm also, by extension, reading the regular Green Lantern title again. So we got the whole Spectre stuff, and we still got to figure out about the I can't think of the dude's name, the Shadow, the Dark. Anyway, point being, I'm still getting these. Getting these, issue 23, Green Lantern, cover A, other options here as well. I'm probably going to get the A because I don't think I'm going to get the B. Or if I don't get the A, I'll probably pay that extra buck and get the Mark Spears, which is pretty solid. Hal looks like a classic Hal Jordan, from the old school Superpowers days. So I do kind of like that. But I don't know. It's a buck extra, so we'll see when I'm at the shop. But there's a Mark Spears cover here. And we do have a 1 in 25 option here as well, if you want to go that route, which this one is kind of cool. I don't know. There's something about all the rings and then the cityscape, from above, but behind him as a backdrop. It's just kind of weird enough that I kind of like it. I don't know. Just kind of like it. All right. I also said I'm seeing through this We Are Yesterday storyline at this point with the whole Legion of Doom and the Justice League Unlimited crossing over with World's Finest. It's 7 parts. We're already almost through it. This is part 5. So, as I said, I'm just going to ride it out. Here it is. This is the connecting cover I showed you last week. It connects with last week's World's Finest issue. But here it is once again. If you want to see the two together, these go together. Pretty cool. Other cool covers options we do have here. We got some more JLAs. We got the Star Sapphire going on there. We've got more Justice League Classic Trinity right here. We've got more Trinity right there. And we got 1 in 25 options, as well as a, here's the 1 in 25, which looks like this either has to connect or something, because the way Superman's cut in the middle, it's got to connect. But I don't have the other half of it just yet to show you, but maybe I'll show it to you next week. And then we do have I think we have a 1 in 50. No? Yeah, we have a 1 in 50. It's this one here with all the Green Arrow folks. So you got your Connor Hawks, you got your Ollie and your Black Canary, etc. So there you go. 1 in 50 option on Justice League Unlimited. Now, as I mentioned, some of these things are books that I'm just going to get anyway in the OCD collector that I am, despite the fact that I haven't even touched this series yet. And that is Critical Role's Vox Machina Origins. This is issue 6. Still haven't gone to pick this up yet, but I do love this stuff. I'm a big fan of the animated show. I do have all of the comics for this series. I will get around to reading this one of these days. It's just, I'm just going to get it anyway. So I believe this is the last issue in this mini, but here we go. Grabbing issue 6. Again, one cover. I'm getting it anyway. So that's why it's in writing it out. Just like I'm behind on reading Bitterroot, but I like the OG run of Bitterroot, so I'm pretty sure I'm going to like this one once I get around to sitting down and reading it. Issue 3 of 5 coming out this week, so I'm going to get it, the whole series anyway. This is cover A, connecting cover, I believe. I'm not going to show you the connecting covers until we get to the end. There's a B cover option here by Ian Bertram, I believe. And then we do have a 1 in 25 option here by Brian Lee O'Malley, of all people. Scott Pilgrim, which is kind of silly and kind of fun, if you want to go that route. Now, Dan Panosian's giving us the next part of The Last Boy, that Peter Pan storyline. I only read the first issue. I haven't gotten to the second issue yet, but it's Dan Panosian. I like his writing as well as his art, so I'm just getting this. Again, I'll play catch up on the reading, but I'm going to get this anyway. I think it's issue 3 of the mini, and then we'll move forward. That's the Panosian cover. There it is. The G.I. Joe cover is still hidden. I thought I looked at for all over. I thought I got rid of all of them, but I missed one. He's going to haunt us for weeks, folks. That said, Last Boy issue 3, I do like the crocodile cover. It is pretty cool. You got the hook hatches floating there, the hand sticking out of the mouth. It is kind of a cool look. And then we do have a C cover option as well. Just pan with some magic flying through the air. And then we'll take all of these covers, all 3 of them, and we're getting virgin versions of all of them. Granted, the Panosian is just an FOC cover, I believe, just an open order FOC cover, where the crocodile's the 1 in 10, and the flying pan is 1 in 25. But there are virgin versions of those 3 cover options. So there you go. Now, I enjoyed the first issue, so I've already decided I'm going to probably get this whole miniseries, and that's Predator versus Spider-Man, because that Predator was pretty messed up, and this went a different route than I thought it was going to go, so I'm down. I'm into this. I'm going to read this whole thing, so even though I've only got 1 issue in, this is issue 2 coming out, I'm in to read about the Skinner slaughter, because just that's the way this Predator is just kind of sadistic. I think it's kind of entertaining, and I'm kind of curious. This is the cover A. We've got plenty of cover options for you. Here's a B cover in the sewers. We've got another option for you here. We've got a 1 in 25 option here as well. And then we do have a 1 in 100, which will take that C cover and make it a virgin. And there is our 1 in 100 if you want to go that route. I'm fine with the whatever, A, B, or even a C. Whatever one I grab, because like I said, I just want to read this thing. With that said, Uncanny X-Men. I'm at the point where I'm just, no matter what, I've said it many, many times, no matter what, Uncanny, regular X-Men, and Amazing, I'm going to get every month without fail. Doesn't matter. So we're getting this. I am behind, admittedly behind on reading, so that's why it's here. But that's what we do sometimes as collectors. We just get. So Dark Artery, part 3 of 4, issue 15, cool. We've got a cover A. I really like the cover B here by Fang Yang, I believe. However you say the artist's name. I dig the Mystique cover. It's just kind of cool. It is a little muted, a little washed out, but I still kind of dig it. And then there is a 1 in 50 option of that. That's a virgin version of if you want to go and pay up for it. It's one of those potentials for the week that any one of these covers could kind of pop, but there are a lot of options this week, and you'll see a couple more as we move through it with more of the borderline cheesecake type of cover. Just saying. So there's a few options that could hit, but if any of them sell more than half a dozen copies, I'll be surprised because of the competition. That said, what do we got next? We've got books that I'm on the fence about. Now, these are titles that I may drop, may continue. It doesn't matter. Like Assorted Crisis Events was on the fence, so they're not necessarily all books that I'm going to drop. Sometimes I may make the commitment, then now I'm just going to put it to my pull list from now on. And that's kind of what happened there with that title. But meanwhile, I've dropped other titles like Weapon X-Men. That said, what do we got this week for On the Fence? On the Fence this week, I don't think there's a lot here for you. I forget whose suggestion it was. If there's no books, I'm not going to show you the segment. We're just going to skip it. Try to keep the show faster. Segments that don't have any books in it, we're just skipping until we do have stuff in them. But here we go. On the Fence about Deadpool and Wolverine. These crossover mashup titles of taking 2 characters, they can be fun. Again, I expected very little out of this title from the start, but that first issue was actually pretty good. But that goodwill is starting to wear out for me for that first issue, and I'm just kind of going, all right, there's Strife stuff, and now they're executioners. All right, I guess I'll keep up. I don't know. I just don't know how much more I got in me. I might see through the first full arc here and then drop it. I don't know, but that's why I'm on the fence about it at this point. Cover A. Then we got a B cover option here as well. It's not too bad. And yeah, that's all I got on the fence this week. So on the fence about one book. We'll see if it sticks or if I got to drop it. If I drop it, it'll be left on the shelf with the rest of these books, which again, this is a segment of books that I'm just personally not picking up because as you can see, my pull list is expensive enough. I can't get everything. So if you guys are reading them, great. If I should pick them back up again, obviously you can let me know and I'll take it into consideration. But I just want to talk about some more books that I might not be getting just because it's just may not be for me. you guys might enjoy it. So we want to keep everybody abreast of what's going on in a bunch of titles. So with that said, left on the shelf this week, we are looking at The Flash. So as much as I'm enjoying a lot of DC reads, I couldn't get myself into Flash. It's just the Spurrier stuff. I just felt maybe at the point I was trying to jump in, I just felt so lost and behind on what was going on with all the multiple flashes and the Warlord was hanging around. I just didn't know what was going on. So with that said, Flash is just left on the shelf for me personally. Bad Moon Rising Part 2, cover A. We got a couple other options for you with a cover B and a C. And I think that's it for this one. So no incentive here on the Flash. So that Elizabeth Torque C cover is your final choice. I've never been a big Harley reader. I do have a couple of runs of Harley as a title. And it's just, again, it's just as a character. It's just not for me. I get it. You get that kind of silly Deadpool kind of vibe-ish thing. But it's just over time, I just can't keep up with it. Again, it's a personal thing. I do like this cover. It's kind of fun. Also, Elizabeth Torque, where you're seeing all inside of Harley's head. It's kind of fun, right? Fun idea, fun concept. We do also have a pretty cool David Nakayama. I like the bright pinks and reds. Then we do have a C cover where, again, just get kind of that kind of hipster thing going. It's reminding me of like Sherilyn Fenn from like Twin Peaks with the glasses. I don't know. And we got a 1 in 25 option here as well. So if you want to go that route, you can go with the 1 in 25, though it's not my favorite. It's definitely not my favorite. Now, James Tynion, again, I don't know how to say his name right. I know I should by now. It's just one of those things. But Department of Truth, we're 30 issues in, and it's just, again, I just couldn't keep up. I just wasn't as into it. So I know a lot of people are still on board. So I just want to show that there are still issues coming out. We do have issue 30 with the cover A. There is a 1 in 10 option here. And there's that. If you want that, aliens on the cover. And there you go. That's it. So you choose regular cover or the 1 in 10. I tried getting into power fantasy, and it just wasn't catching me. So Kieran Gillen, I know, has done a lot of good fun stuff. Power fantasy was just one I just couldn't connect on. So we're at issue 9 already. This is one cover, and then you got a B cover option here as well if you're into this. Cool. Too Many Symbiotes. So Eddie Brock Carnage was not an idea of anything that I wanted. I believe I read issue 1, and it did not catch me, so I am not picking this up personally. But if you are, this is Carnage, Eddie Brock, hunting Muse, because he's trying to do that whole kind of Lethal Protector thing again, where Carnage needs blood, and he's trying to hunt the bad guys. So Muse is a bad guy, so that, I guess, is the angle they're going with this title here in this issue 4. Cover A, got a cover B options, not bad. Bunch of rain, pretty cool. And then there's a 1 in 25, which it looks just like Venom, but red. It is what it is. Also, something that just ended up not being for me, these new champions. I get it. New young team of sidekicks or whoever these team assemble. What was it? The Assembly? Oh, that was an awful name. Thankfully, they're new champions at this point. But yeah, it's just the title is just not for me. I just can't keep up with everything. But I know a lot of people are still speculating on this group, and they love all these first appearances and as these new members are joining, etc. So who knows? Issue 5, we got a cover A. We got a B cover. But that's by Ricky Yagawa, I believe. That actually kind of like the cover B here with the yellow. And there is a 1 in 25 option here as well with Phantasma and Amaranth. See, that's the other thing. I don't know all the characters' names, and there's just too much going on. Can't keep up with everything, especially this younger generation of superhero characters that they're trying to create, which, again, I applaud them for trying. I just can't keep up with them in addition with my legacy characters that I'm trying to keep up with. So that's why I personally couldn't get on board for Spider-Boy. I know a lot of folks do enjoy Spider-Boy, and they told me it's good. I've dipped in, and it's not that it's bad. It's just, as a character, I'm just not attached to him yet. So this is one I leave on the shelf. Issue 19 at this point. Can't believe we're 19 issues into his solo title already. But here we are, facing Mr. Negative. Pretty fun. And there's a B cover. No incentive to worry about. You got an A, you got a B. Pick whichever one you like if you're still into this. Now, In the essence of not slowing things down, speeding things up and not lingering too long, we are going to get back to our One World Under Doom segment, but I'm not going to give you the full rundown at the end anymore. There's just too many books. Just who cares? I know at this point, me just showing you all the different parts again. Early on, I guess it made sense, but at this point, we're like 40 issues in. I can't show you all 40 parts every week. So I'll put it in occasionally, or maybe when we get nearer the end. That said, this week's installments for One World Under Doom, I believe there's two. We have a Avengers title to start us off. This is Avengers number 26, Masters of Evil Part 2. So here we go. We're seeing the Avengers fighting Masters of Evil. This is not a title I'm picking up on the regular right now, just the regular Avengers. It's just not for me. And One World Under Doom as a storyline isn't one that I'm buying all the parts for either. So this was probably staying on the shelf for me personally. But if you were looking for these parts, here you go. More Masters of Evil is where Legacy 792. We're almost near the 800th issue of Avengers, which they'll probably do some sort of special event for it. We do have a Vecchio design cover. We've seen a lot of these on the X-Men titles, the X-Men book, where it was this kind of design with the stripe and the character head and the whatever. And they get a 1 in 50 treatment usually as well. And that's what we get here. So there you go. If you're into it, there you go. I think it's Luciano Vecchio. The other One World Under Doom title we got for this week is Doom's Division, which this was just not, I did not like the read. The first issue, I did not like it enough to even want to get issue 2. So if it picked up or got better in issue 2, please let me know. Because after one issue, I was like, I'm not into this. So issue 3 is probably sitting on the shelf for me as well. But I mean, Doom Division's already divided. And this is the kind of mashup of all the characters from like the Agents of Atlas. It's just basically all of our Asian characters just thrown together on one team. Basically is what Doom's Division ended up being, as far as I can understand it. With that said, cover A, we've got a cover B option here as well. So you got your arrows and your white foxes and whatnot. And then we do have a Peach Momoko cover, which I think it's Arrow, right? So that's kind of cool, I guess, if you're into that. Now, it's been 50 years since Giant Size X-Men, so let's celebrate it. So here we go. 50th anniversary of Giant Size X-Men. We're getting a handful of these Giant Size titles that are X-related, so I decided to make a short little segment, kind of like the Godzilla. It's kind of like the Godzilla one-shots, so these are not technically connected, but they are sort of connected. So with that, let's look at our Giant Size X-Men 50th anniversary book for this week, and it is going back to the original OG Giant Size X-Men #1. So you get that kind of throwback. You see that, oh, look, Ms. Marvel's now retrofitted back into this somehow. Okay, but the past isn't set in stone. So we're getting some timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly stuff going on here. The future's up for grabs. History will never be the same. Just in time for the 50th anniversary, the seminal original issue from superstar artists Andy Kubert and X-Scribes, Jackson Lansing, and Colin Kelly. We're getting a story that introducing the X-Men that never was by Al Ewing and Sarah Bocelli as well. So we'll see how this all plays out. I'll admit I'm curious, and all that reading I did wasn't even all of it, because we've got more here. So boom, and this is also connecting again that Ms. Marvel throwback into it. So this is the first of 5 one-shots getting to celebrate this event for the 50th. Plenty of cover options here. I like the old school homage here. I like the Art Adams homage to himself on that classic X-Men #1. I think this is well done as well. I do like most of these covers, actually. Can't get them all. But here's a Greg Capullo, which ain't too bad. Going back again, old school team. Another Ivan Talavera that's great this week. Dig this storm. I like this one a lot, actually. I'll probably end up getting this one. Then there's another option here as well. We've got Spoiler. But they don't tell you what the spoiler is anyway. But there's the spoiler cover. It's the X-Men Who Never Was. And we get to get the silhouette. So, cool. We'll see what that ends up being. 1 in 25. There you go. There is also a 1 in 100, which, as you might guess, is one of those other covers. And in this case, it's the Talavera without the trade dress, which is a pretty sweet Storm cover. So this is another contender for something that could start selling for a premium this week. But again, we see more than half a dozen sales by Friday. I'll be surprised. 1 in 100 option there, though. I'm fine just getting the trade dress personally. New number ones. So now let's get into the new number ones for the week, as that is technically a new number one, but we've got more. And with that, let's see what we've got in the other companies as well as with Marvel for our new number one segment and section. We'll stick with Marvel, though, to start us off with something I don't need. I'm over the Disney stuff. I just am. As far as covers go, let alone stories. Like, I don't need stories of this stuff. You give me a silly cover like this, Iron Man, what is it, 106, 126? I can't remember the issue title, but you know, the one with the kind of throwback of him. Well, I mean, in theory, it goes all the way back to Tales of Suspense, but point being, what if Donald Duck became Iron Man isn't something I find myself needing, personally. Some of you out there might enjoy it, though, and we're getting it, so have at it if you want it. Some cool covers, though, despite the fact that I may not be down for a Donald Duck Iron Man comic. There are some cool covers here, as we do have a Dan Panosian giving us an Iron Duck. We do have a pretty cool Mark Brooks option here as well. Both of which I would have think were good choices for the later incentive we were bound to get. Here's a Scotty Young as well, also a solid option. And then we have our final open order cover option, which is this one. I forget who did this cover. This is a Noto? Yeah. This is the Noto, which I got to say, out of the group, was probably my least favorite. And that is the one they decided to do the 1 in 100 virgin treatment on, which I'm surprised by. It's not that it's bad. It's just I think the other ones were better. The Brooks and the Panosian by far, and even the Scotty Young would have worked better personally to me as a 1 in 100 virgin. But this is the one they chose. So get it if you want it. Speaking of symbiotes from before, Venom Original Sin. Okay. I don't know. I don't need any more Venom books personally, so I don't even want to read what this is about. I see Jack-o'-lantern. I guess that's kind of fun. We call back there. It's just not for me. I'm just over the whole symbiote thing. I'm symbioted out. That's all I got to say. So Venom Original Sin number 1. I think it's just a one-shot. It's 56 pages, so it's $7. And we've got 2 cover options. We got an A, we got a B, and we do have a 1 in 25 incentive where we'll take that cover A and get rid of the trade dress. And there you have it. Cool. Pick it up if you like it, if you're into it. It's just, again, I can't get everything. Just like I'm probably not picking up Mr. Terrific Year 1. I do like Mr. Terrific as a character. I'm looking forward to seeing him in the Superman movie. I don't know if I need a Year 1 comic personally, but they're making one. And it also has a lot of write-up and a lot of words that I'm not going to go and read all of it. So if you want to, there you go, because there's more. There you go. I don't need all of that. And I don't honestly really need this title, but hey, enjoy it if you are into it. Covers are pretty cool. This is cover A, is not bad. It's that classic kind of white background that DC has been doing for those first issues, but I kind of dig the Rob Van Dam pose we got here with the red cover. It's not bad. And I do kind of like this, what are the terrific balls? The T-balls? I forget what he calls them. But that's also not a bad cover. And there is a 1 in 25 by Cohen, which also pretty cool. It's just, again, it's another title I just can't afford right now. That's all. But it's out there if you want it. Just like I'm not a Star Trek reader. I like the revamped, movies that we've seen. But other than that, I can't keep up. Got Paramount Plus. We got all the lower decks. You got animated stuff. You got all those other spin-off shows. We got comic books with the Lore War. It's just not for me. This is a one-shot. Shax's worst day. So if you're into it, have at it. We've got a little bit more text beyond that. So get that if you want it. But there you go. Cover A. We got a B cover too. I do like that big weapon. I always like that, weird Klingon weapon. I forget what it's called, the Karath or whatever. It's just a cool looking weapon. But Star Wars as a title is not something that's on my pull list. Though there's a 1 in 10 option here too with that badass weapon I'm talking about. That's it. Here's a one shot out of Image. Mommy blog. Don't know about this. Kind of curious, but I don't know. It's just, I think it's the wrong week for it, because my wallet's already spent. So I might have to see if this is still on the shelf maybe next week. Maybe I'll give it a look-see. But Marguerite Bennett doing this kind of supposedly a black comedy kind of angle, kind of playing up, I think, on the the TikTok videos and the Instagram videos with all these tips. But this mother, I guess, is a killer. I don't know. Mommy blog, number one shot. A lot of writing here as well. So there you go. Give it a look, see if you want. It's $6, 48 pages, so it's oversized a little bit and priced as such. Now, we've got another title coming out of Image. New number one, Dark Honor. I'm getting like a Streets of Rage kind of thing, like old school 90s video game kind of fighter. That said, for nearly a century, the 100 have been the strong arm of New York underworld. But now, as COVID-19 ravages the city in early 2020, I don't know. Okay. It's just, I don't have it. Again, don't have it in me to start adding new. And this setup's not one that's particularly grabbing me. But if it grabs you, let me know how it goes. As you got a cover A option, and then you got a 1 in 10 kind of black and white version. So, or limited color option, I guess. We'll call it that because there's red. So you can't just say black and white. Moving on, though. Again, got to keep it rolling. Spinning out of Quested. Detective Kaiju. Yes, it's a kaiju, and he's a detective. I do have the Quested series. I did not read all of it, so I don't know the basis of what this exactly is. But I'll tell you, it's strange enough that I'll probably give it a try. Cover A option here. We've got other options here as well. There's a B. We've got a Sin City callback here, which is also kind of fun. So you got that. We've got like a movie poster-ish, or, that waves. I got a couple of shirts with the waves option there. There's also a sketch. I'm not getting the sketch, but a sketch on a number 1 makes sense. A sketch on a number 9 and a number 7 makes less sense. Or number 19. Don't know if we need it. But probably the gem of this bunch, if anybody got a hold of it or gets a hold of it, it'll probably do well because pre-sales are already pretty crazy for a 1 in 25. It's already selling for over $100. The 1 in 25 here, which to my knowledge, I don't know what this has to do with the kaiju detective. And maybe she's in the story. Maybe she's that silhouette with the sword. That's the only thing I can guess. But I don't know for certain because I didn't read this yet. All I can tell you is this Shibina cover, they're doing well. If you can get a hold of them. The fact is, they are kind of tough to get a hold of, though. So the ones that do sell for a lot, but not a lot of them sell, if that makes sense. Which is why I don't often have them on my hot list because I can't. All right, 4 sold. Yeah, they all sold for a ton of money. But it's kind of hard to justify hotness when we're talking about it like that because there's just not enough quantity to really put a basis on it. But we'll see. We'll see how this one goes. It's not our only Shibina cover this week. We'll get to that later. But we do have another one shot that I'm actually kind of into checking out. The Goddamn Tragedy. I don't know if this is just it's just a one-off story as far as I understand it. And it's kind of a, I don't know, an Oregon Trail kind of vibe to it. But it's a tragedy in the West. Okay. Tula Lote cover here. Not bad. It's coming out of Oni. We got a C cover here too. Pretty cool. I kind of like the D cover here with the bloody trail. And then there is also another option here, which has this huge skull on it. And then we'll take that and will be our 1 in 10 black and white version for that. So the 1 in 10 on this is a sketch cover of that cover. So I don't know. Kind of curious. I'm just kind of curious. Whether I can add it to the pile, it will really depend on how much I've got like in my hand. Because it's, like I said, it's a hefty week. That said, even with it being a hefty week, I kind of like this cover here on Adam Mad Cave, and I'm kind of curious for the Pale Knight. So we got some Black Plague actions. We got Death himself. We got Knights, Black Death. I don't know. I'm kind of curious, and this cover's pretty cool. So I'm kind of into checking out the Pale Knight number 1 here, at least with this cover. Cover B is not bad, but that's the one I like. Get some like Templar Knights, and like I said, it's Plague. Who knows? Who knows exactly what it's going to end up being, but I'm into checking it out. Now, as we go towards the end to wrap up here, let's get to Faximiles, and then we'll move on to later prints, some of the other variants, and we'll wrap up with Cheesecakes, as we normally do. But a couple of Faximiles this week. Not a lot to go through, but we do got a couple. If you're interested in getting Faximiles, we do have the all-new collector's edition Superman versus Shazam. This is one of those bigger, oversized type deals. That's why it's $15. 72 pages of super action. Cool. I mean, it is kind of cool. It's a little pricey for me, but it is kind of cool. And if you want it shiny foil, well, that one's $20. So, or $17. I'm sorry. It's only $17. All right. $2 more for foil if you want it. And then on the X-Men side of things, they're giving us that Dark Phoenix saga. Here we go, $135 for part of the Dark Phoenix saga. So if you don't have the originals, this is a cheaper way to get in and get this story, because this is classic X-Men stuff. And if you really are into it, you can get the different cover art on the 1 in 25, which here's not bad. But I don't know. I don't love it. I don't love it personally, but it's all right. I don't need to get the facsimile because I still have my OG copy. But again, for those who can't afford the OG or don't have the OG, facsimile makes sense because this is a classic run. Now, moving on, later prints. Let's get on to the later printings. We do have a handful here to cover, and we're going to see what we got to start us off. And I think my first one is going to be those big ones. So, I don't know why we need this, but here we go. We're getting it anyway. The giant-sized Hush book that sold all right when it came out. You know, the big orange one, and it was a huge giant size. Well, they're giving us a second print of the first one, and it's giant-sized in a second print, and it's $15. And then there is also a second print foil edition. If you need that, that's $20. That's where my mind was thinking of, the $20 version. I don't know why we need these giant-sized editions, let alone second prints of this giant-sized edition. Like, one makes sense. I don't know why we need it, a second print of it. So this is kind of bleeding in and leading into my question for you.
WTF, Gary? WTF. What the fuck does WTF mean? What the fuck? Oh.
Because seriously, who needs this? Why are we making this? But yeah, second print probably not needed. But I also don't know why we're making it for every goddamn issue of the goddamn Batman. So here we go with the third part of Hush 2, also getting a giant-sized edition. I just don't think we need giants. We're going to do giant size the whole run? I don't think that's necessary. Seriously, $20 a pop. Come on now. That said, giant size and giant size foil, if you're getting them, God bless you. I don't get it. I don't get it. But that's just me. It's a personal thing. That said, I'm not opposed to the idea of the giant-sized book in and of itself, because at times it does make sense. You want to see better, larger versions of the art, etc. Special issues make sense, a la Deadly Class. So here we go. We've got a Deadly Class artist proof edition, which is in the same sense that huge giant-sized edition. It's like that 11 by 17. You're going to need to get a huge ass Time Life magazine backboard for this thing. And this is issue 1 and 2 of Deadly Class that are sharing the old school issue 1 cover. I get it. That's different. This is like a special edition. We don't need it for the entire Hush 2 run, do we? But again, if you want to go get them, that's up to you. I'm not going to judge. I just think it's a lot of money to be spending on that, because these things aren't cheap. I mean, this one right here is $25. Granted, it's 2 issues, and there's even an incentive. There's a 1 in 4, which is this is the B cover. So if you really want to go and get this, you got the 1 in 4 edition of this, which is probably be pretty tough to find. I will admit, because I don't know how many shops are going to order this to begin with, let alone 4 copies to qualify for this cover. But just keep that in mind. So this could be one to keep an eye on. And then we do have the deluxe edition. I don't even know where to put this, honestly. This is Youngblood with all new words, basically. So it's sort of a facsimile. It's sort of a reprint, but it's sort of a new version. So I'm leaving it here in later prints. I didn't know where to put it, honestly. I didn't want to make a whole separate segment. But this is also a second print of that remastered, redone version of Youngblood 1. So this is the second print. They basically just gave you the other cover on the front. All new words. And they weren't much better. Just being honest when I gave it a read. But we are getting not only the second print for issue 1, if you want to play catch-up, you get issue 2 as well. Our first appearance of Prophet. And Silverhawk, too. You know, technically on the back. When you flip-flop this thing. But here we go. Prophet. Why he's so huge and that dude's so little that he kind of, I'm not going to go into it. We got a regular edition. $4, $6 gets you foil if you want a shiny foil version. And if you really want to go and get crazy, you can get the incentive black and white version of this. So 1 in 25. Wow. I don't know. It's out there, though. If you want it, have at it. Now, as much as I am not recommending you go and invest in that book or go take your time to read that book, I am telling you, if you haven't read this one, take the time because, again, this is a good read. So here we do have a third print for issue 1 of We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. As you know, issue 3 is coming out this week. So if you don't have the other issues, you can get yourself a third print of issue 1 to read it. Pretty cool cover here. And then we do have a second print option here as well for issue 2. So again, you can play a whole catch up and get a third, a second for number 2, and your first print of number 3, and be all caught up like me. And if you really like the second print, you can even get a 1 in 10 of the second print because they do have a 1 in 10 option here for We're Taking Everyone Down With Us. I can't go and collect all of this stuff. I'm fine with the first prints that I do have. I do have the occasional incentive that if I like the cover enough, because I do like the story enough. And like I said, I'm down into reading more. Also down to read more of Bug Wars. And if you haven't read Bug Wars, here's a chance to get yourself a third print of issue 1. Jason Aaron, it was a fun read. Play some catch up if you need. While we don't have this week giving you a later printings of issue 2, we do have a second print for issue 3 coming out this week to help you along in your catching up. If you missed out on Lost Fantasy number 1, they have a second print here, which you can't miss by that huge red title up the side saying second printing on the Final Fantasy 7 for, callback. And yeah, it's probably my favorite cover for the book. The story itself was meh. We'll see if it picks up. But it was like 2 different stories in it. Both of them were, like I said, I'll read issue 2. But for now, I can't say I recommend it yet. I'll just leave it there. And if you need to play catch up on The Last Boy, that Dan Panosian Peter Pan title, we're getting the second print for issue 1 right there. If you somehow missed out on Godzilla vs. Hulk, you lucked out in having to spend money on it. But I can't tell you enough to not go and spend on the second print because, again, this was just not good. This wasn't a great read. I'm just going to say it. Wasn't a great read. Here's a cover for you, though. If you really want it and you missed out and you just somehow can't find the first print, I don't know why you can't find a first print. It's not like anybody's, saving these or like these are hard to find, but we do got a second print and we have a second print B cover for some reason. So yeah, I guess if you need it, go get it. Moving on. Asian American Pacific Islander Heritage Month, which is me. I am half Filipino after all. So I do like spotlighting these covers when they do come in every May. So May for this month, we've only got a couple more to kind of, I think, finish us off for the month. I got a whole short set to run later in the week to kind of wrap them up. But here we have Dr. Light version 2 or 3. Can't remember which version she is. But we got her on Justice League Unlimited number 7. And we do have on Green Arrow 24. Is it Connor Hawk? Can't remember which kid this was. But I think it's Connor. But there we go. Issue 24, Green Arrow. Now, we are getting a lot of these super smash-ups. So these are the Superman mashup character covers where we just take, Batman and he's Superman. You get it. We got Aquaman. We got Wonder Woman, I think, last week. Now we're getting a whole bunch of them to play catch-up. I got a short running for these later in the week, too. But here we go with Batman as Superman on Batman 160. We got Flash getting in on the action on Flash this week. Green Lantern hopping in there as well. Harley Quinn's even got her own version of her as Superman. And we've got the Justice League where they're all Supermans. And also, that's Justice League Unlimited number 7. We have even more Supermans on Superman 26. So with that, I believe that's all of them. But there we go. We got a new iconic on Marvel for this month. So the Todd Nauck iconic covers. We got one. I don't know how many they plan to do for the year, but they keep adding to the pile. These are just those white background covers. And this week's edition, we've got the Giant Size X-Men featuring Wolverine. It's okay. Get it if you need it. I like the other covers a lot better personally, but this option is out there as well if you want to go that route. Now, the Impossible variants kind of messed me up because the first half of them were homage covers, and then the second half were current covers that they put the Impossible Man popping up in them. Got a short to wrap up this series coming for this as well, but here are the ones wrapping up the pop-up cover versions for the Impossible Man variants for this week, starting off with Avengers 26. This is the cover A, regular version, and then, oh, I should have done, got to fix the transition there, but there we go. It's Impossible Man popped in, pop-up version. Same thing with Uncanny X-Men issue 15. We've got the regular cover A here. Sorry, the useless transition. And then, boom, Impossible Man in the background there. And that wraps us up with our Impossible Man covers for the month of May. Also wrapping up for the month of May, we've got the Timeless editions, those Alex Ross covers. So let's see what we got for you this week to wrap that series up. We've got a couple of issues, not too many. Our first one being, again, the Avengers title, giving us this Nick Fury on Avengers 26. And then there is a 1-in-100. If you need to get the sketch, there's that option. We got Black Goliath here as an option on Deadpool Wolverine. And a 1-in-100 to go there. And that's all we got. That'll take us to the end. Only thing missing here is there is a Power Man Timeless number 4, which is coming out in a couple of weeks, that just missed its schedule last week, that we're getting later. It's coming in a couple of weeks in June. And it's a Power Man on, Luke Cage, old school, on Power Man Timeless number 4. Now, we're already over an hour, but we've got one more segment to take us through to the end, and that is our Cheesecake cover segment. Still plenty of options for us this week, and we are going to start off over on Marvel. Granted, I moved most of the Marvel books out of here, most of the DCs, but theoretically, Rogue the Savage Land, that's all this series was about. This is about making these Cheesecake covers, in my opinion. Yes, there's a story. The read was okay. It kind of dragged out. I don't know if we needed 5 issues, but here we go. Zaladane fighting Rogue in the Savage Land. There's our Carrie Andrews on the cover A. Then we've got some more. So we do got some more options here. There you go. And there is a Campbell, as there have been for the whole run. This is actually a pretty solid one with her with Zabu. The saber-tooth tiger that hangs out with Kazar. So, yeah, it's pretty cool. Kind of like it. And this is also our 1-in-100 virgin version for the incentive. So, one of those high-ratio virgin version covers featuring a popular female character that could potentially do well this week. We've got the Rogue, we got the MJ, we got this, we got the Shabina covers. There's plenty that could pop this week. We'll see. I don't know what will, or if any will. May cancel each other out, but we'll see. Cayman America coming with this book. I don't even know what this title is about. I just see these covers, and they are what we're here for. This is the Cheesecake stuff. So there you go. Cover A option. And then this is a premium edition cover B. I think it costs a few bucks more if you want to get that cover. Still with Antarctic, we've got Tiffany and Charlotte on Another World. Don't know what this is, but I guess it's in that realm. If you're down for this, you know what you're getting out of Antarctic. Moving over to Zenoscope. Yeah, they've got this Killer Cobra series. The Hunt Begins issue 2. Yeah, it's some superhero Cobra character on the other covers, but then we've got this veterinarian lady, and then we've got a 1-in-20 kind of naughty version if you want to go that route. So go chasing, go hunting if you want. Also in the similar kind of vein, we do have this Palace of the Golden Princess issue 2. A little bit of bondage on a Fabio fantasy novel kind of esque cover here, but then it takes it to a different level when there is a not suitable for work version, which I cannot show you the full cover here, so we're still going to cover it up, but you get what's behind that Rennavision logo. Yeah. And then we've got Lilith over at Vault. So our little demon vampire issue 4 lady, their version of Vampirella, I guess. Here we go with Lilith. We've got a censored cover here. Again, it's not going to look like this. This is the censored version, polybagged edition. Same thing with this cover. It's a polybagged censored one, so it'll be different if you open up your polybag. But this is the image that I can show you. And there is also a 1-in-5 variant here, which is kind of cool in a scratchy, pulpy kind of way. That's the 1 in 5. There's a 1 in 10, which is just a virgin version of the cover A. And then there is a 1 in 20, which will take our 1 in 5, move it up, and make a virgin version of the pulpy type of cover for that one. The perspective's kind of weird on this one to me. Like her legs, I get it, foreground and all that, but even like her head is way too small for her chest area. It's just weirdly proportioned. I don't know. That said, it's still kind of a striking image. And it still has that kind of scratchy, pulpy kind of vibe. And then we'll go to, I think, our final title of our Cheesecake segment, which is Pinapocalypse. These have done well, the incentives at least, throughout the whole run. So you should be surprised that we're working our way towards the third incentive by Shubina here. But before we get there, we do have that cover A. We got a cover B here. We've got a cover C, which these were like 1 in 15s or 1 in 10s, but I think this is just an open order for this one. Also still kind of a suggestive image. Kind of cool. Kind of like it. But the big prize will be the 1 in 25 with the roller skates. This is what people will be spending their money on, and spending a lot on it because, again, even pre-sales are 4 times the ratio of a 1 in 25 in the triple digits. So we'll see. See how many of those sell, see how many are out there, etc. And with that, that's that segment, which will take us to the best of the week. This is just my personal favorite of the week. So again, feel free to disagree. Put it in your comments down below what your favorite covers of the week are. And yeah, let's have an open dialogue about it. But my personal favorites of the week are these two. And I say two because I have an incentive and I have a regular. We'll start off with the incentive. And my favorite incentive cover of the week is not one of those sexy girl covers, as you might have guessed. You might have guessed that that's the route I would have went with my incentive, but it is not. It is that 1 in 10 for You'll Do Bad Things. The Josh Hickson, because again, yes, there is still kind of a sexy girl aspect to it, but it's not about that. It's just this cool kind of pulp throwback, the murderer, and it's, I don't know. I just dig it. I like the kind of vibe it's given. I like the storyline inside. It's a 1 in 10. It's my favorite one this week. And yes, I could have went the route and went the virgin route of this cover, which is my regular cover of the week. This Ivan Talavera, the MJ. Yeah, the 1 in 100 virgin would have also worked, but I'm not going to go and buy that. It's just too much to pay for that premium. I'm fine with this, with the trade dress. I hemmed and hawed whether I wanted this one or the Storm, but Ivan Talavera this week definitely won the week for me. So that's why he did my 2 favorite covers of the week. Regular open order stuff. And with that, that's all I got for you. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Sorry, it still went over an hour. I tried to speed things up and move things along quicker, but it was a big week. And I warned you at the start, it was a big week because end of the month, a lot of titles that I'm personally interested in. So I don't know how it was for you in going and picking up your books for this week or planning to pick up your books for this week, but it's a big one for me. It's going to hurt my wallet. But that said, still want to thank you for all the support for the channel. Thanks for checking this out and spending the time here. I'll be back with some more content very soon and plenty more coming your way in the weeks and months ahead. So with all that said, thanks for coming out and I'll see you all later. All right, bye.